Alright everybody, here's the Fade coming at you with episode 10 of Ascending the Tower. We managed to get a nice little run here at the end of Retro Cup, which helps strengthen our position on the ELO board, but with the end of the season coming up, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to hit that 3,000 with this series yet. We'll have to wait and see. We could go really well to close things out. But as always, thanks for tuning in here for this episode. Be sure to hit that like button or the subscribe button. It really helps out the channel and I'll be really appreciative of it. We also have a lot of fun here too in our Discord. If you want to join the Salty Crew server, feel free. The link is down in the description. Without further ado, let's get stuck in. Alright, as you can see, the team for the closing out few games we had of the Retro Cup is with Barbaracle with Fury Cutter, Cross Chop and Stone Edge, with Noctowl, Wing Attack, Psychic and Shadow Sneak, with the always on Froslass with Powder Snow, Avalanche and Shadow Ball. Now we'll move into the first game here. We have Barbaracle on the lead here against a Galvantula, which is a terrible matchup. The Volt Switches will be doing massive chunk damage here. Just want to switch straight out here to the Noctowl because we can go on and win this without the Noctowl, but the Noctowl will be getting decent chip damage with those wing attacks. One discharge is almost enough to take out a Noctowl, just as a FYI. You'll see that right now. Bang, look at that. I wasn't expecting it to do that much damage, but we are able to get to that Shadow Sneak, which will either help hopefully do a bit of damage or take a shield away from our opponent, which will give us the shield advantage. We managed to get that shield advantage here, which is pretty significant. So now what we can do here is we can bring in... Ooh, it's a tough choice. Both are pretty weak. We'll go with the Froslass here because the ice will do a bit quicker damage to the Galvantula here. We will be able to use one of those shields here because a discharge or a lunge from this Galvantula will pretty much knock out Froslass. So we are able to farm a little bit here. And if they don't shield here, we'll have significant energy loading into the next opponent. So they've thrown up the second shield here, so we still have that shield advantage, and now they'll have their lunge or discharge. The smarter play for them here would be for the lunge, because they're going to go down anyway, and the lunge will drop my attack. And they've done exactly that. So there's a double attack dropped Froslass right now. We've got an awesome lag there as always from these servers. And now we have a very bad matchup here. Lapras can handle both of the Pokemon that I have left here because Surf will be doing super effective damage on Barbaracle as well as on Froslass because of the ice typing. So here comes the first Surf. This will be doing a good chunk of damage here. It's a little strange, even though he's water typing, but it's made neutral because of the rock typing. So a Stone Edge he'll do super effective damage, but I've gone for the Cross Chop here because 2 quick Cross Chops will allow me to farm down a little bit. In hindsight, that is potentially the wrong move. I should have just gone straight for the Stone Edge because it would have knocked Lapras out straight away. Silly choice on my part. Everybody makes mistakes, but we might still be able to get... No, we're not able to get to that the Cross Chop there. So we've got the Shadow Ball coming in here. This will be enough to get rid of our opponent. And if our opponent brings in their third Pokemon that we haven't seen here, they should be able to close this game out. Oh, they brought in the Galvantula, which is going to give us free farm. That was a big mistake by our opponent. What's coming in the back? It's an Altaria, so 1 Avalanche in this game is over. Wow, that was a huge mistake by the opponent. And that's given us a free bit of bread there because they've made a huge mistake, and the 260% ice damage on Altaria is enough to one-shot with an Avalanche. That was a big error, but we'll take the win either way we get it. That moves us to 1-0 here. We got Barbaracle back on the lead against a Dragonite, which is pretty decent matchup with the Stone Edge if we don't get a shield. But we'll sit straight out to the Froslass here and try and get that super effective ice damage. They've come straight in with the cast form as a bit of a punish swap. We're going to go straight for that Shadow Ball because that'll be doing the most damage. If we can draw a shield out, great. If not, so be it. And they've shielded it, so Got that shield. We need to try and get to that avalanche here, but we're not going to be able to make it. So we have to throw Froslass to the wolves here. Right now we're sitting in a very bad position because Froslass was our win condition against the Dragonite. And bringing in the Barbaracle means that the fire moves from our opponent won't be doing a great deal of damage. Again, in hindsight, going for the cross chop bait wasn't a good idea. If it draws out the last shield, then great, which it doesn't, which means that now they have the shield power to block out the next Stone Edge, which takes a lot of effort to get to. Any fire type moves here won't be doing a great deal of damage to a rock and water type as it's double resisted. Should have technically done less than that, but whatever. And now we've got the Stone Edge coming, which will be easily blocked, unless they don't want to be down to 2 shields. But either way you look at it, this is a very bad position to be in, and they've not used that last shield, so that's great. So we managed to knock out the opponent there. The Dragonite will come in and just easily farm us here. Had to use 1 shield. A bit unfortunate, would have been nice to be able to get to a Stone Edge or something to draw out that shield. We've had to safe swap straight into the Noctowl here. And the last one is a Lapras, so there's the Ice Shards with super effective damage here. The Psychic will be doing a little bit of neutral. The Shadow Sneak wouldn't do anything at all really. Doesn't hit for too much power. As you can see, the Psychics just don't add up on a Lapras, so this is pretty much game over here. The Dragonite will be able to farm us, so they have the shield advantage if I was to use that. Surf does not as much damage as they were expecting, I assume, but we may or may not be able to get to a second Psychic here. We are not. That's really unfortunate. We're 1 move off. Come straight in with that cross chop here. So they'll either have to throw the shield or take super effective damage from this cross chop. And they've thrown the shield because the cross chop would have knocked out their Lapras, which would have put us in a good spot to try and beat the Dragonite. But now I have to use a shield of my own because Surf would knock me out at this point. And now I will have to throw my energy to defeat this Lapras, which will mean that the Dragonite can simply come in and farm us down. Very unfortunately, but good game well played to my opponent here. That moves us to 1-all. That was a bit unfortunate with the opposing matchups really. They had a bit of a better matchup than I did, but there was a win condition in there. I just made a mistake and it cost the game. So we've got the Dragon Claw coming through here, even though that it was just 1 more Dragon Breath away. We'll move into the next one here at 1-on-1 against Alias 48. So we'll have the Barbaracle back on the lead here against a Golem. So that's if it's running Rock Blast, I have the advantage here, and it is indeed running Rock Blast. So I'm going to come straight in here with the cross chop. This will be doing super effective damage because of the rock typing. Look at that huge chunk of damage taken off the Alolan Golem there. It was a flat 1500 CP. Now what we'll do here is we'll probably be expecting a Wild Charge or something along those lines, so we do need to shield this. And there comes the Wild Charge. So we can sit on all that energy here, and then if we do a quick swap, oh no, we can actually farm him all the way down. What are they going to bring in here? Second up, a Leafy, so it's Blossom. They might be thinking I'm going to throw a cross chop shield bait to get one of their shields, and that's what they've thought. So the Stone Edge is coming into mass damage here on the Blossom, so I can switch straight into the Noctowl to do super effective damage, which will be pretty much similar here on the Dugong, who will be taking pretty heavy damage from either a Shadow Sneak or a Psychic. And now they'll be forced to use one of those shields here, and indeed they have. So we won't, if we leave this, it'll be a 1-hit shot because it'll be an ice type move. Even if it's Icy Wind, it might leave me with a little bit of health. It did leave me with a bit of health, so I might be able to get to the Psychic, I'm not sure. It's going to be close. We got there. Alright, so we'll be able to try and get that second shield, or they might just let it go after the attack drop. Letting it go might put them in a bad spot. So they've put out the second shield here, and now we've got shield advantage. We're safe to let the Noctowl go down there. We'll bring in the Shadow, or the Mirror Ice battle here. This will just be another Icy Wind, so I don't need to shield this. We'll let this one go. Save this shield for as long as possible because we've got all that energy stored on our Barbaracle. So I'm going to pull... Oh, he's beaten me to a fast move. This is definitely another Icy Wind. So here comes another Icy Wind. We're going to be pushing out that Shadow Sneak here. It won't be doing super effective damage, but it'll be doing enough damage here on the Dugong to hopefully get us in a farm down position. So that's not a farm down position, unfortunately, so the Shadow Sneak doesn't do enough. So we can quickly switch here into our Barbaracle. And with the Barbaracle, we'll do super effective damage on the cross chop. And we won't be able to do anything there, as it is not a very good matchup. Grass on Barbaracle, who takes mass damage from it. And saving that shield here has just won us that game. So that's a very good game to my opponent, very well played. That came a lot closer than it looked at the start. But the Avalanche here will be getting rid of the Blossom. How that fast attack got through there, I have no idea, but sure. It was what looked to be a bit of a CMP tie, and then the Bullet Seed comes through anyway, but it's what it is. We managed to get the win there. We're going to 2-1 here against Anchorage. So we've got Barbaracle on the lead still against an Abomasnow, so it's an advantageous matchup here because the Ice doesn't do great damage to a Barbaracle and the Fury Cutters do super effective damage. As you can see, they add up. The Cross Chops too will be doing super effective damage if they go unshielded. We've got a good amount of server response there, so no missed Little Fists. He'll probably go for the Energy Ball. Might try the Weather Ball shield bait first, I'm not sure. Probably it's always safe to shield against a grass type when you're using Barbaracle. And he has indeed not gone for the bait, he's gone straight for the Energy Ball. So it was a good shield, and he's switched straight out to an Aerodactyl. An Aerodactyl will be taking a good decent amount of damage from a cross chop despite the wind or the flying type resistance. The super effectiveness to rock type makes it good neutral damage. There's a good bit of chip right there. And we can try and punch out another cross chop here. They might have to use a shield. It's been shielded, so we've pulled out that shield there. That's quite nice. And we're going to go into the flying type mirror matchup. So the Aerodactyl is actually doing a bit more chip damage than the Noctowl is right now. If this is a stone type move, or that actually wouldn't have done any damage at all to a Noctowl because it's a ground typing move. Rock move would have done a lot better against a Noctowl, so it was a bit of a burn shield. But Psychic here would be good enough for a one shot here. Let's see what we get here. The Psychic has come through. Ooh, that's a nice little chop out there. The Psychic did enough damage to get rid of our opponent. And now the Abomasnow has to throw his Weather Ball. So this does put our Barbaracle in a very advantageous position here. He could farm in to get a cross chop before he'll get to another Weather Ball. Is that the play we're going to go for? We're going to go Mirror Ice. Now we go on the Barbaracle to get to that cross chop. And he gets there. So that'll be saying good night here to the Abomasnow. Now it depends on what the last one is that's coming in. The way it's been so far is there's been a lot of people with the Abomasnow and Altaria double. And we're going to go straight into the swap here to Froslass, and we'll get to that Avalanche before they get to a Sky Attack, and that'll be a very good game to my opponent. Well played. We're going to hit that Avalanche here for an excellent swipe, and it's good night Altaria. Another one of those Moon Blasters shinies from the Community Day event over the weekend. Hopefully everybody managed to get themselves a Shundo. I didn't because my Shundo luck is terrible. I still don't have a Shundo from being a player on day one. We all make mistakes. As you saw in here, I made a couple of mistakes in some games, but was able to overcome it. It is possible. But that Barbaracle lead in the Retro Cup was actually rather spicy. He did really well for me. The Stone Edge and the Cross Chop combination is really deadly. Noctowl was also a good meat shield because he can take a bit of damage, and Froslass is just probably the best closer that Retro Cup had. Without a shadow of a doubt, Froslass was probably the MVP of Retro Cup. I don't think it comes close. But thank you everybody for tuning in. That is episode 10 of Ascending the Tower in the books. We've gone from a ELO of 2,263 from the Quilladin video before, which is now at an ELO of 2,299. So we've done rather well here in the Retro Cup. We've managed to push up a little bit. We've gone up almost 700 ELO from when we started the series. Maybe I started a bit too late in this season because this season is almost over. But again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Don't forget, in the chat below you can join the Salty Crew Discord server for PvP help as well as raid partners on Pokemon Go. But thanks everybody for tuning in. That's Fade out. Hey everybody, my name's The Fade. Thanks for tuning into this YouTube video. I stream weekly on Twitch at twitch.tv/TheFade with a 4 and a 3. Weekdays Monday to Friday, 9:30am to 5pm CET. Be sure to drop by the stream and give it a look.